Well, today is Tuesday and I am heading to my second derby practice, and I am very sore today, but I'm very excited to go to another practice. It was so fun and so good, and it was like a nice reminder that my body was capable of doing a lot of things that I just felt like was not possible. I've been having some issues with like tightness in my hips and low back issues. I wasn't sure if I like caused myself an injury while working out or something, but sitting down has been something difficult for me, and just by going to that derby practice, it helped me remember there are other ways that I stretch when I do derby stuff, but I don't necessarily do that when I work out regularly. And my life has changed just so much since the last time I was doing derby full time. Just getting back into the practice of that kind of movement again. I just like I just feel so much better. My body just like is not as tense and tight. I mean, I'm sore, but like in such a good way. So I could go on and on about it, but I need to start heading to practice. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll update a little bit later. Hooray, just finished another derby practice, and it was awesome. They did light contact. I am not doing contact right now, so instead I was reffing. We did kind of like a very, very light scrimmage. It was kind of, it was weird. It was weird for everybody trying to not make contact. It was weird for me remembering how to ref. But yeah, it was so nice to see. It was just so nice to be around derby again, and I'm really happy. And yeah, I'm excited, and excuse me. Yeah. So I'm gonna head home, and yeah, I'll talk more about it later. I was driving home from practice and I saw this box out on the curb, so I just walked down and picked it up, and I'm gonna use it so that I can mail off a painting. Here I am in my bathroom, and I'm trying not to wake up the boys, so I'm talking a little bit low. But yeah, I've been trying not to wash my hair every day, but I just sweat so much, it makes it really hard. But anyways, I can't decide if I should eat or not. It's so interesting to have to adjust back to doing this thing that I haven't done in a while. You know what? I'm sorry, I can like smell myself. I'm gonna go shower and then I'll continue this conversation. Good morning. Well, I didn't finish recording last night like I had originally planned to. I was talking so low that you could barely hear it, and I couldn't fix the audio, so I just decided to film again this morning. And I'm enjoying my coffee. Forgot my rings. I need to put those back on. I took them off for practice, but oh my gosh, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings I need to kind of like work through, I guess. I've been involved with roller derby since like 2010, and this is the first time that I'm doing roller derby and I'm not working or going to school or working 2 jobs or anything like that. This is the first time where I'm working from home. I'm an artist, by the way. And so my time is being used so differently than it was previously. I don't know, it's just, I'm still having a hard time like comprehending everything, because literally I've not been to roller derby since March of 2020, and that was in El Paso. Like, I moved to a new place. I haven't really met this league yet, and it's different in a really good way and I know it's not like this for everybody, but I can just tell the difference. There was like this intensity, there was this like desire to be there, there was this respect for other people's time, and you know, there's just so many things that are different about what I experienced with this league in the two practices that I had. That's very different than my old league, and I think part of it is when I got to El Paso, I had originally retired from Houston. I had an injury, and I was just like, I just can't. I don't have the capacity to deal with it. I ended up I had a Baker cyst in my knee. So it's like this ball of fluid. And I've had surgery on that knee before. I had ACL reconstruction. So yeah, I had this Baker cyst in my knee, and like every time I'd bend my knee, I'd hear it clicking and I could feel it. So that kind of took me out of the season early, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with Derby. I don't need to fuck up my knees anymore. And then I moved to El Paso, and I really wanted to make friends. I, wasn't able to find work immediately, so Derby it was. And of course I went to I watched a game and fell in love and was like, yeah, I could totally do this. And then it was just such a like culture shock, I guess, compared to coming from Houston, which was very like very regimented, very much competitive. That's what everything built up to. There are different, there's like the rec league, and the juniors, and then you have your home teams, and then, the very top of that is the travel team, which is the most competitive, which is basically like what most of the fundraising and stuff goes towards the costs of running that travel team, for, to maintain rankings and stuff like that. I know that's just like such a poor version of trying to explain that. So like, don't think that my explanation is the be all end all. There's so much more that goes into it, but that's all I can think of right now because Derby Brain has not been working for the last year and a half, like I said. Let's see what else. But everybody was so just, I could tell everybody there wanted to do Derby. It wasn't, I'm just doing this because it's something to pass the time. It wasn't I'm here, but I have a million other things on my mind. It was just such a different energy. And I don't really know how else to explain it, but I really enjoyed that. And I kind of had, I don't know, it's just strange. And I just want to talk about it because I kind of feel like I'm like rediscovering Derby again. I mean, of course, not completely, from nothing, but this reminds me, I feel like I want to hear other people's stories. I want to know how other people are coping with going back to Derby or not having Derby or finding Derby for the first time. I love hearing people's stories about roller derby. And it reminds me of when I first kind of started looking into roller derby and how I first kind of fell into it. These were like in the days of Tumblr, and I just remember I would like search for any little, back when hashtags were actually useful. I would like search for anybody who tagged something roller derby. I'd search for the name of our venue that we skated at to see if anyone tagged anything roller derby because I just wanted to know so much about it. I wanted to know who else was going through it, who else was experiencing these things, and I kind of feel like I'm like trying to create that moment again. I just want to like document here, this is where I am in my journey, and maybe you can relate to it, or maybe it can provide some sense of like, I don't know, comfort knowing that there's someone else out there that maybe shares some very similar experiences or ideas or thoughts with you. Yeah, I'm all over the place. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was the fact that I'm doing Derby and not working a 8 to 5 job that requires me to be gone for so long. because this is the first time that I haven't had a very tight schedule where I had to fit Derby in, and everything was very intentional. Everything was very much in its place. And if one thing went wrong, then it like threw off the whole balance of things. So I'm meeting Derby in a different place, and it's just interesting. And I'm interested to see what that's going to be like for me. Like, I'm kind of excited about it because in the past, I like, just going back to my last season with El Paso, I didn't know how things worked. I probably should have, made stronger boundaries, but I didn't, and whatever. It is what it is. I don't have any regrets because I know that my intentions were good, and I know that my leadership presence was necessary for a certain amount of time. And I did see a lot of growth in my teammates and the skaters that I coached. And so like that just means everything to me. But I was definitely spread a little bit too thin. Not a little, I was spread too thin. Being voted captain of a travel team and a home team for a league that I hadn't really even skated for. And then being on the board was, it was too much. It was too much. And then all the personal stuff that I was going through, and then also having an injury, it was a lot. Oh my goodness. Like, I look back on it and I'm just like, girl, why did you do that? Why did you do that to yourself? But at the same time, I'm also like, how did I keep doing that? You just never know what your strengths are until you're just kind of forced to keep going. And so this is going to be different. Even with practice last night, I said no contact. I'm not doing contact right now. And everybody was wonderful and respectful. And I was like, I can ref, I can be an extra set of eyes, I can help with drills. And so I was able to do that. So I'm proud of myself for sticking to that boundary. And I don't want to do contact for the first month that I'm there because I want to make sure I'm really ready for this, and I also don't want to cause myself any injuries. I mentioned that I've been having issues like pain with my low back and my hips, and Derby's helped bring awareness to parts of my body that I just haven't used or thought about because I don't like I said, my life has changed so much since the last time I was in Derby, yeah, so I'm still figuring it out is basically what this whole rambling thing is about. So anyways, I'm going to end it there, and I will update y'all next week when I go back to another practice. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.